how to feel worthy of your high prices or any prices at all really. Now, this is a bit of a tricky one because I'm going to bet that sometimes you feel so worthy of your prices. You feel like, of course, you're worth that much. You're on top of the world. And then there's going to be other times where you really question yourself and you really question if you should be charging that much or if anybody wants to pay that much. Maybe you even question if you're being a bad person by charging the amount that you're charging, not making it accessible to everybody, no matter what their financial situation is. If you can relate to any of that at all, then you are in the right place. And in this video, I'm going to share with you my top tips from both my experience and also my experience with my clients and what has really enabled them to feel worthy and deserving of their prices. So my first tip, which might sound a little weird, is to firstly come to peace and acceptance with all of the reasons that you think you're not worth those prices. So the first thing that I want you to do is write down every reason you are not worthy of charging that much money, but also every reason at all that you should feel guilty or ashamed or that you're not worthy of anything in life at all, really. So I want you to write down all of your major life experiences or things that you've done, decisions that you've made that you're not proud of or that you regret, that you might be holding on to in some way. So that, along with why you think you're charging too much for whatever your product or service is, I want you to write a list of all of those things, and then for all of the ones that I guess have the strongest charge or you really feel like, yeah, that's true, I want you to go through a process of actually just making peace with that. Because maybe what a lot of people would recommend you do is push all that stuff aside and just focus on the positive things. Just focus on why you are worth that much money. But the problem with that is that you still got this stuff going on under the surface, and it's still got to come back and rear its head at some point. So you could focus on all the reasons why you should charge $5,000 for your coaching program, but if you still deep down think you're not worthy of that for, because you did this thing when you were growing up, because you stole something from someone, because you were dishonest, or I don't know, any reason at all, if you still kind of think that and you're just trying to override it with the positive, this is still here. This is still going to come up and bite you in the butt. It's still going to control you. It's still going to tell you, yeah, but you're not really worth it. You're not really a good person. You're being a bad person here. So we really need, personally, I just think it's so foundational to address that. So I want you to write down all the reasons you are not worth your high prices and just in general why you're unworthy and you're guilty. And then go through a process of really accepting all of those things. And you can use a mantra, something like, even though I did this thing or this thing happened, I completely love and accept myself and I am worthy and deserving of money. Even though I am a selfish person, I completely love and accept myself and I am worthy and deserving of money. So it's like, rather than trying to push these things away and pretend they're not there and make them not real and just focus on this is why I'm worthy, we are embracing them and letting ourselves be worthy even though this thing. And then that thing can't come up to bite you later because you're saying, you know what, I'm worthy even though I did this, even though I said this to that person. I am worthy anyway. So by embracing that shadow, you truly empower yourself. Now, the second thing that I want you to do is to write down all of the reasons why your product or service is worth that price that you've put on it. So I want you to get beyond the surface level reasons here. So say you're a coach and you're offering a coaching program and you're helping women with their body image, let's just say. Okay, so your program is worth, I don't know, $2,000, and you're writing down all the reasons why it's worth $2,000. So you could say, this is worth $2,000 because the transformation my client gets is that she feels more confident and worthy and going out to be able to made more money in her business, or the next one could be because she feels more comfortable in her own skin. Because I'm doing a really bad job here, guys. You're gonna do a better job than this. But then I want you to think further than that. What do those things give her? This enables her to provide for her family. This enables her to provide a positive image to her children. This enables her children to feel better about themselves. This enables her children to make a positive impact on their friends. This enables them to go after what's really important to them in life. This does this, and just kind of go bigger picture, go beyond, okay, it makes this transformation of this person, and then how does that affect the people around them and then the world? And so I want you to just really dig really deep into why is it actually worth this much money? And by the end of it, you'll probably be like, $2,000 is nothing. $2,000 is nothing for this impact. So I want you to write down all the reasons. And when I say all, I'm going to also say at least 20 that your program is worth, or your product or service is worth that amount. The third tip that I have for you is to write down all of the things, all of the reasons that you are valuable, that you give value in the work that you do. So I want you to write down all of the education that you've done, all of the major life experiences you've had that have made you you and given you value. And this is really going to help you not only see the value in providing this product or service, but the value that you have, your uniqueness that, is worth that price and is the reason someone would hire you. So when I think about this for myself, I feel like I have a really unique background, right? I am an engineer. I studied energetic healing. I then went on, I did all this work with my sexuality. I have had serious body image, self-acceptance, self-worth issues. I then went on to explore this stuff with money. I've done tons of business coaching and business training. It's all of these odd kind of random things. I grew up on a farm. I was really aware of environmental issues. I've done a lot of travel. It's these just kind of random things that don't maybe always seem like that contributes to what it is that you do, but it does. It makes up your approach. It makes up your mentality. It makes up your life experience, connecting with people, rapport, all of that kind of stuff. It just makes up the package that is you. So my next tip is for you to write down all of the things that you've done and the major life experiences that you've had that really make up the value that you offer uniquely to someone. And then my final tip for you is to write down the reasons why your product or service is worth the amount it is before every time you have a sales conversation or you write copy for your product or service. When you sit down and just write down 15 reasons why it's worth the amount that you're charging. So back what you did in one of my other tips of just writing down all those reasons, I want you to write down 15 before every time you go into a sales conversation or you're writing copy for sales. So what this does is this just gets you in that feeling of really embodying and owning that price before going into that situation, because you need to be in that state of being when you go into that situation so that you can really convey that to the person that you're having a conversation with. So to summarize, my tips to help you own your high prices or whatever your prices are: number one, to accept all of the reasons and really own all of the reasons why you think you're not worth that price. Then to write down all of the reasons your product or service is worth that price and really digging deep, going above and beyond. Then to write down all of the experiences you've had, training you've done that add to the value of who you are and why someone would hire you. And then my final tip is to just actually write down the reasons why your product or service is worth the amount you charge, at least 15 reasons before any time you have a sales conversation or you're going to write sales copy, just to really get you in that state of feeling, believing, and knowing the value that you offer to people. So I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Which one of these has been most valuable to you? Or if you've done any of these before, how have you found they've worked for you? Please let me know in the comments, be a part of the discussion. And of course, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone that you think, has high prices or might want some tips around really feeling worthy and embodying the value of their high prices. And of course, if you want to keep getting more videos like this, make sure you hit subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video.